Hello. So, if you don't mind, I'd actually love to share a random thought with you. I mean, it literally just popped in my head, so I'm not sure how this is going to come off. I hope it makes sense to you. Um, but it's about the power of our decisions. So, I was just thinking to myself that, so I got a football scholarship to go to college, and that's how I was able to afford to go, right? And my before I made my decision, I ended up having I think I got like maybe 3 or 4 scholarship opportunities, and one of those was a full-time scholarship opportunity, right? And the two it came down to was one in North Dakota. Hey everybody, how you doing? Was one in North Dakota and the other in Iowa. North Dakota gave me a full ride, and Iowa gave me a partial ride. And what's interesting though is that my decision came down to how cold I heard North Dakota was. So I'm from Southern California, if you don't know. I don't enjoy the cold, and so I literally made my decision based off of the weather. And what I find is interesting what I think is interesting about it is that when I made that decision, my life changed. When I went to Iowa for school, I met some of the best friends I've ever had. When I went to Iowa for school, I ultimately met my wife. When I went to Iowa for school, I graduated there having a bachelor's in psychology and sociology, but I learned about IO psychology, and that took my life and leadership to another level. Like, I am where I am today literally because of the decision that I made based off of the weather. So when I ran this idea by a mentor of mine just a few minutes ago, he thought it was funny. He said, you know what, that's interesting, because I made a decision where I was going to go to school based 100%. I had a full ride offer, but then I had another opportunity then for a really good program in my major. But because I made that decision, I met my wife. I now have my 4 kids. I went down this path I am now simply because of one small decision. Shoot, the example I love talking about, if I'm going to share with you right now, is Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, he was 6-7 years old, born enslaved. 6-7 years old, born enslaved. For the first time in his life, he was in the city living with a white lady who he thought cared about him. And in front of him, the wife's husband told her when he found out that she was teaching him how to read, that you can't teach a slave in person how to read because it'll make them unfit to serve as a slave. So again, as a 6-7 year old, he heard this, and he made the decision at that point he was going to learn how to read, right? And because he learned how to read, he ultimately was able to escape slavery one day. Because he knew how to read, he ultimately was able to travel the world, freeing people, fighting human trafficking, all because of the one decision he made at that point. And so it got me thinking right now. That's why I want to share this idea. What if you made a decision today? What if you decided that you wanted something different for your life? What if you decided that you wanted to take your career in another direction? What could that lead to? This one small decision, buying a book, investing in a course, subscribing to my newsletter, it's just leadership development. What if you made that small decision? How would that change and impact your life? Now, I'm in this right now, but I do want to say really quickly that I sort of lied to you. He didn't just make a decision. I didn't just make a decision. My mentor didn't just make a decision. We acted. And so what I want you to do today, please, don't only make a decision to do something different today. Not tomorrow. Today. Don't make a decision to do something today. Do it. Take an action. Buy a book. Just do something to start moving in the direction of where you ultimately want to be. As always, Alex Tremble, GPS Leadership Solutions. Look, join my newsletter, Alex Tremble at alextremble.com. You'll get a lot of great free content. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving.